So today we're going to talk about a new concept called gross and net income. This has to deal with your pay. When you hear the concept of gross income, we're actually talking about the amount of money that we earn before any type of deduction comes about. Now, when you hear the concept of a deduction, that's something that's being taken off of your earnings. Some deductions that come off your pay are income tax, CPP, EI, company pension plans, all these different things that we have here. And not forget these life insurance and things like RESPs and RRSPs, donations to charities, and obviously things like union dues. Now, this thing called net income is the part of the money that's left over after you've taken away the deductions. And this is what we usually see when we get our final paycheck from our bosses. So now let's just make sure that we understand what all these deductions are, because everybody wants to know where all their money goes. So you remember I said that we had some key deductions, right? So some of these deductions here are like the Canada pension plan. Everybody pays into it, and everybody over 18 that earns $3,500 pays into it, and you can get some of that money when you get older, around 65, 70 years old. The next type of deduction is called employment insurance, and that's like temporary pay if you ever lose your job through no fault, right? If you're sick, you're pregnant, or caring for a newborn or adopted child, or you're taking care of a sick family member, you can use this, right? Now, there is a maximum amount contributed every year. So at some point, somewhere around May or so, we stop paying for it. Maybe May, June, or July, we stop paying for it. And then we all of a sudden notice that our pay increases because we're not paying that employment insurance. And the same thing happens for CPP. Now, the income tax we pay all year, right? And the percentage of that is calculated for every paycheck, right? That's why they kind of do those annual pays that I showed you before. Based on the annual rate, we figure out what your percentage rate should be based on your paycheck for that week, and they pull off that percentage. Now, for your union dues, that's actually paid by your company for you on behalf of you, right? And they just take that off and pay that to your union, and then your union protects you and helps you out if something goes wrong with your job. Now, you also pay for health insurance in Ontario and the other provinces, right? But we also have health insurance that's provided by your employer. This is a benefits package that covers what OHIP doesn't cover. We call that benefits because it's on top of what we normally have, right? And then lastly, we have something called RRSP or RESP contributions. These are typical things that are taken off of your pay that sometimes you pay fully or your employer pays half of it and you pay the other half, and that goes towards your retirement savings or your registered education savings plan for your child. All right, now let's go on to how to calculate gross, net, and deductions. So imagine you're Brianna, and you're basically going to take $425 per week for your company. That's how much money you make. Now, the deductions are given by this. All of these different things are taken off of this amount of money. Now, imagine if I asked you to calculate her net income. So there are three things that we must calculate first. We need to know her gross pay. So Brianna's gross pay is the money that she earned for the week. And now the next thing that we have to know is what the total deductions are. And remember, these are what we call the deductions, the things that we take off of the pay. And to get the total deductions, all we got to do is we have to total up all of the deductions that we had here, and we get a total amount of money for our total deduction. And now I'm going to emphasize what the net pay is. The net pay is literally going to be this. For the net pay, we have to take the gross pay and subtract it from the total deductions. And we end up with are 425 minus 115.04, which gives us 309.96. So the key idea is to get the gross pay from the amount of pay that they earn for the week or every bi-week or month. Then you've got to total up all of their expenses, i.e. their deductions, and then we subtract it from the original amount to get our final answer as our net pay for the week. And that's it. That's the only concept that we've learned for today. So now I just want you to work on some of the questions that I've prepared for you. All right, have a good day.